You ready, Jerry?
Yep.
Sound check. Give us a sound check.
1, 2, 3.
3, 4, 5, 6. How's the sound, Mr. Cameraman, Mr. Soundman? All good. Let's go. Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday, the 8th of March. My name is Philip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Peer.
And Gary, can you believe it? But we're coming at live at our viewers with the 200th episode of GPTV. Who would have ever thought that, Gary?
Big news, Phil. And I just want to thank those viewers, both of them, who have been watching us for the over 200.
Clever,
yeah, it's fantastic to be supported by you both. And who would have thought? Because this was just a concept. We thought we'd have some fun. We'll just try it. And here we go. It's become part of who we are.
I've got some interesting trivia. Viewers, 200 episodes is a huge milestone.
It is, Phil.
And I want to put that in context to all your viewers because you've got used to sitting down with a cup of tea or a glass of wine.
Some people might be watching this for the first time, Phil.
Tuesday nights watching, and you're probably now just taking it for granted that it's going to be online for you when you're ready. But have a look at this for some stats, Gary. I'm looking at sitcoms made in the United States, and we're going to go through a few basic ones. Different Strokes.
Yes, how many episodes, Phil?
189 episodes.
Who would have thought?
Didn't crack 200. Seinfeld.
Now, that must have been 300 episodes.
You would have thought so.
Easily.
181 episodes.
Didn't make it to this far, Phil.
I Love Lucy.
Oh, that went for years and years and years.
It did.
Must have been
180 episodes.
You don't say.
What about this one? Hogan's Heroes.
Oh, I loved Hogan's Heroes.
You reckon there was 500 episodes?
Can we have some Hogan's Heroes music quickly? Oh, don't you love that?
I love that. 168 episodes, Gary.
Yes.
Now, for those of you...
I know nothing, Philip.
For those of you that are over the age of 50, you've probably heard of the Flintstones.
Yes.
The Flintstones, 166 episodes.
Wow.
Couldn't even get a cartoon to crack 200.
No, Phil,
and they
there you
weren't
go.
even paying the characters any money. I would have
Incredible.
understood.
Mission Impossible.
But my last one, no.
171.
Okay, but not many people watch the Mission Impossible.
Oh,
How about the Van Dyke Show?
Oh, that must have gone on for 10 years. Phil.
Well, you would have thought so.
Thousands of episodes.
158 episodes. So
Well, there
when
you go.
look at those stats, Gary...
and what about the Avengers, Phil?
It's only GPTV that's cracked 200 episodes.
Well, there you go, Phil. Who would have thought it? I don't know how many episodes Hey Hey It's Saturday made. We should find that out. There's a good trivia question.
Yep.
Get in your answer for that one because it might be coming back, Phil. So if you can give us the answer for that,
there-
first correct person gets some gold class tickets, Phil.
Okay,
how
we're
many
giving away
episodes?
things on the show?
Including the 2 revival episodes a few years ago because I'm a big fan of Hey Hey It's Saturday. But Philip, it's celebration times. Come on, 200 episodes, and we can look back at some of the early episodes.
Well, I want to show viewers. I'm going to show you we're going to show our first episode,
Very
our
stiff we were.
50th episode, our 100th and 150. And I want viewers you to see how badly Gary has aged across those 200 episodes. If ever there's a reason for you to take some considerable care, go and get some work done, a bit of a makeover, because you have aged so badly.
I'm all natural, Phil, unlike yourself, who keeps the surgeons in business.
You know what, Gary?
I'm a natural,
it's fair and
real
reasonable
person, Phil.
that you are natural, and I agree.
How many people do you reckon?
You haven't had work, but Gary, just there's the evidence up on screen that you desperately need some work.
How many people from Cootamundra, you reckon, have ever been and got plastic surgery? Men from Cootamundra.
Okay.
I reckon you're it.
Viewers,
I reckon
for
you're
those
the
of
only
you that
one.
don't know, I grew up on a farm in Cootamundra in New South Wales,
Where the men are men and the sheep were scared. That's right. It did. Yes. Never been politically correct, has it, this show?
That's pathetic.
shall
Anyway,
we talk about real estate?
Shall we get back to the real theme, which is...
And where's the cake? How about the cake?
This is a real estate show. The
Look
cake.
at the cake. Have to have a shot of the cake.
Have a
Look at that.
cake.
The boys from Visual Domain, they've brought in the cake. It's a beautiful thing.
And I think it's fair to say, let's have a shout out.
We're not going to eat that cake, but thank you.
It's not a chance I'll eat that cake.
No.
But it was very nice. Shout out to the guys at Visual Domain.
They've done a good job.
Well, not only have they done a good job with
They've
the
stuck
show,
with us all the time.
But they have taken a business from literally 1 or 2 videos. In fact, we were their first customer.
We were their first video, first
client,
customer, first ever.
But they're now a national business.
They are, Phil.
Right round Australia.
And what do we get from that,
Phil? They are the leaders in video.
And what shareholding have we got in that
Correct,
business? Yeah,
correct.
nothing.
Yeah,
but
we
thank you.
We got a cake.
We got a cake. That's it. 200 episodes, 4 years later. By the way, Phil, let's just have some context. By the way, when we had the first episode, the Australian dollar was $1.04 to the US dollar. Just so you know.
Oh, there's a little trivia.
Ted Ballieu was the Premier of Victoria,
Have you done some research for the show?
I just remember these things.
Okay.
Ted Ballieu, and I bumped into Ted Ballieu, by the way, at the farmers market, just sitting back, the Stonnington farmers market.
He's a
just
big
welcoming
guy.
people.
He's a big guy.
He's a big guy, Phil, but he likes his farmers market. He likes his fresh produce.
What's he doing now? Did you ask him?
I don't know, but I put my $2 when I walked in, and Ted checked it, and I said, "G'day." We had a chat, and I said, "We need you back, Ted." He said, "Oh, I think I'm going to have a spell." Lovely guy. The Prime Minister of Australia, Philip. Julia Gillard. Yes, she was. So that's just some of the facts.
Do you know, if you start doing that sort of
and the
stuff,
London Summer Olympics, Philip, 2012 August. There you go.
You realise how much has happened in 200 episodes.
Exactly right. It's all happening, Philip. But let's talk about what happened last weekend.
More specifically,
because we sold 17 of 24, which is a 71% clearance rate in line with industry standards. Pretty much close enough, give or take.
Rubbery figures on our 200th episode.
They were rubbery. It was a rubbery weekend, rubbery weather. It was fantastic. We had a wonderful time, Phil.
You're really switched on today, Gary. You've done some research for the show, and we did say in episode 1 that we were going to give the facts of the real estate market. Clearly, by episode 200, your facts and
a little
figures
skewed, but close,
so
approximate.
A special shout out to one of our longest serving viewers, which is Ashley.
Yeah.
And Ashley,
Ashley doesn't like those stats being
If you
wrong.
want to check the stats for this week, we couldn't fail in our 200th episode. So we just played around with the stats.
Well, it was 71%. They're the facts, and the industry standard was a very similar figure, let's put it that way. Phil, let's review some of the auctions because there was a lot of them, and we've got none coming up this weekend, so we can take a little bit more time to review those that happened.
There's one thing I want to jump in early now because this was our our first weekend where we released via auction top-end market property. So for the first 3 weeks of this year,
juicy ones.
For the first 3 weeks of this year, most of our sales have really been between $700,000 and $1.5 million.
Mostly,
and it was only this weekend that we released top-end stock, which was really between $1.8 million and well over $4 million. Yes. But this was the weekend that we put all of those to the market.
We did,
and I've got to tell you, Gary, I'm very proud to say that every top-end house that we had this weekend not only sold, but sold well.
It did indeed, Phil.
So we can now say, after 4 weeks, the market across all market segments, from one-bedroom apartments to luxury homes with tennis courts, every sector is performing well.
Let's go and review some of those sales, can we, Phil? Phil, first auction I'd like to review is the apartment on Dandenong Road that I sold with Elsa, the Magnificent, as I like to refer to her as. This was Unit 2. That's 556 Dandenong Road. Phil, a very competitive auction. Many bidders sold for $680,000 against a reserve of $640,000, which was in our price range.
Okay. So good to see an apartment on Dandenong Road performing well. And Dandenong Road's one of those roads where we've sold probably more real estate along there than anybody.
There's no vacancies at Dandenong Road.
They always perform well, but great to see a property on Dandenong Road selling over the reserve.
Now, I heard the noise all across the marketplace that 8th Avenue had one of the biggest crowds ever witnessed at an auction.
Well, Gary, we arrived there. The coffee van was...
Was there free beer there? We were handing out beer.
The baristas were being smashed there because there was an absolute queue for the coffee.
Yes.
And got a bit of a photo up there online now of that.
Look at that.
But we smashed the reserve there, Gary. I didn't go. I didn't have a half-time break. We just announced the property on the market and it flew.
The reserve, Philip, there was $600,000 on the top of the price guide because we always want to be price guide compliant. We'll talk about some of those new laws maybe if we have time or next week.
No, I think we're going to do that next week, Gary, after we've consulted our solicitor.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I mean, actually those new laws work beautifully with our practices really because we fall into line mostly with those new laws and how they're set up, Philip, but $778,000. That was a runaway train in the Avenue. So congratulations, Phil, on that one. Munster Avenue, well, that was a big sale. Leo Samuel put that one to the market and sold it for $1,943,000. That's a big sale.
Interesting, I was talking to Leo about the top end of the market in Carnegie. Sales
strong,
over
Phil.
$1.5 million.
It is thumping, Phil.
We have already established ourselves in Carnegie as the clear market leaders at the top end of the market. And that's a really exciting thing, which we're very proud to share with you.
So Carnegie sellers at the top end, come and see us, but we love everything. No property is too big
but
or too small.
But it's interesting to see that our brand is regarded now as a premium brand at the top end of the market.
Indeed, Phil. You had a thumping good time in Elstree, Glen Ira Road on Saturday afternoon, I understand.
What an unbelievable result that was, Gary.
Expecting somewhere around $2 million. The reserve was pretty close to that, Phil. And what happened?
Well, we had buyers that just fighting for it, and I think we sold that for $2,375,000.
You got it right on the dollar, Philip. And
Gary,
we can
before you
disclose
keep going property after property after property, because
which I'd like to do,
that gets a bit boring after
only
a while.
For you, but the viewers enjoy it.
I want to talk golf, Gary, because golf is one of those games that I will never play. That'd have to be
But
the
you know what?
most boring sport ever on the planet.
When we were away in
But we had
Coolum
our golf day,
for a
Gary.
holiday,
Yeah.
you went to the driving range, you hit a ball, and you actually hit a ball really well.
Gary,
And your father plays golf, so what's wrong with
Gary,
you?
I am what many describe as a natural athlete, so there's very few sports that I can't just go into, completely never played them before, and people think that I must
To
have been
pick up
playing
any
for a long
bat
time.
or ball and
Well,
off you
no,
go, yeah.
seriously, I've got great hand-eye
Yeah.
coordination, and that's clearly evidenced by my excellence at auctions. But
Yes, you
golf,
can take a bid and you can see it.
that
That's
is
very
a boring sport, but we had our Gary Pearson Associates golf day.
See, I think you'd like the whole golf fashion thing, Phil. You'd like to be.
Hang on a
to
second.
Dress you'd
Golf
like-
fashion thing.
Because
What, you
they-
can actually use
I can
those
see
two.
it.
You can use those two words in a
see,
sentence, can you?
Well, you can with me because that's where I excel because I've got no fashion sense. So on the golf course, people go, "Wow, you look terrific today," and nothing matches. But in golf, you actually look good that way.
So, viewers, we have a golf day every year,
we do.
And that was a standout
clients.
success because the weather was magnificent. Gary got
It
a
was
lot
magnificent.
of our clients got
Eliza
sunburns.
Carr, the corporate executive of the year, as voted by the RAIV and maybe soon to be the best in Australia, did organise the weather well, Phil.
And what a great job
and,
she did.
And we've got to congratulate Matthew Danos, Phil, because Matthew Danos, this young fellow, not only was he part of the winning team, but he got a hole in one.
Unbelievable.
So well done to
On
him.
the 14th hole, I believe, at Cranbourne, which
Well
is
done to
no
you.
easy
No,
feat.
indeed.
But viewers, if you're a golfer and would like to come to the golf
And
day,
you're a client of our company,
yes, Gary,
Please,
you've got to
because we've
make
got
sure
limited
that
numbers,
qualification.
Phil.
No,
Yeah.
you can. We'll send you an invitation. Whether you'll
Yeah.
actually get on or not's another thing.
Well, that's true
But
too.
send us
I'd like to have you
send
there.
us a message, and we'll put you on the golf list.
Phil, 197 Alma Road sold for an undisclosed price, but that was a wonderful sale and a wonderful home. Well done to Adam and to the buyers, who we are respecting their desire to have the price undisclosed. Phil, but we don't have to undisclose the price in Melby Avenue because this one went off in a big way. We're expecting somewhere in that mid to high sixes, perhaps seven, but lo and behold, Philip, it sold for $781,000. Jeremy Roses was going nuts as the
Do you
auctioneer
know?
there.
Here's an interesting thing, viewers. What was the price on that again?
$781,000.
$781,000
Australian dollars,
That was
Phil.
a ground floor apartment.
Yes.
Quite a good size. Two
Yes.
bedrooms, one bathroom.
Yep.
Off-street car parking and a lovely courtyard garden.
Yep.
Walking distance to a park and
Yes.
Carlisle Street.
Look, it's
And-
sold. You don't have to read the ad
Gary,
now.
You
It's
don't,
just-
you don't know
you're
where-
boring
You don't know
now.
where I'm going on this. So
better be good.
that's what you get in Melbourne in the inner suburbs with great facilities and a good size. Having said that, my nieces and nephew,
Yes.
the three of them,
Yes.
have just bought their first property investment, the three of them together,
Yes.
and they bought in Bondi.
Yes.
One street back from the beach. And I think Bondi has got, other than the beach, of course, but Bondi and St Kilda have got
And all the-
similar facilities.
All the beautiful people walking around Bondi
Absolutely.
as well, Philip.
But if you live in Sydney,
Handsome men and
they
magnificent
bought
women.
a two-bedroom apartment where the
Yes.
second bedroom was tiny. This
Yes.
is a tiny apartment
Yes.
in an older style building with no courtyard garden,
Such a long story.
no
Like,
balcony, and no off-street
200
parking.
episodes, he doesn't shut up.
This
Go
is
on.
interesting.
It's
they,
not.
they had to pay $960,000.
Okay, well, why don't you just say, my nephew and nieces paid $960 for an apartment in Bondi?
Because I'm trying to
It's
get
in this
Melbourne
telling, isn't it?
people to understand what great value there is in Melbourne. Because in Sydney, incomes aren't any higher in Sydney.
They
and
are a
yet-
little, I think.
Marginally.
Okay, marginally, correct, yeah.
And yet they have to pay 30% more for real
And the
estate.
market's come off a bit there, they say.
Correct.
There you
correct.
go.
So viewers, aren't you lucky you live in Melbourne? And to those viewers that view this show in Sydney, and we know there's a lot of you, bad luck.
Yeah, keep paying through the nose. That was a great story, Phil. Really riveting champagne television
It's
there.
more interesting than
champagne.
half the guff that you've come up with in this show so far.
Phil, Powderham Road was sold for an undisclosed price, but
was.
evidence of the top end of the market. Well done on
Live
selling that
and
one.
well, and a strong result.
As was Grimwade Court, Philip. That also went very well, far beyond reserve, I can say, but I can't say the price, can I, Philip?
Can we
because
say the reserve?
No, we can't say the
can't
reserve
say
or the
anything
price.
about it. Other
Well,
than
we
the
can
fact
say we
that-
were quoting somewhere around the mid-twos, I think.
Yes, yep.
So suffice to say, you can go and figure it out for yourself. Philip, what we can talk about is the sale price and the reserve on Imperial
Beautiful
Avenue.
property, that Grimwade Court, though,
It
wasn't it?
was lovely. And now, Imperial Avenue was a perfectly compliant situation, Philip, because the range was 1.4 to 154, the reserve was 154.
Yep.
But boy, did that go off.
Gary, we held that auction inside because
did.
it was stinking hot.
It was.
On Sunday afternoon.
And sensibly, you went and brought it
I've
inside
got to
so
tell
we
you-
could all sweat inside.
No,
instead.
I've got to tell you, viewers, I don't want you standing in the sun. We're a sun smart real estate agency, and wherever possible, if there's no shade available,
Yep.
we'll take you inside. Having said that, we had about 100 people inside.
Exactly
and,
right.
and I've got to tell you,
They were everywhere,
the
Phil.
noise.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Was incredible.
Well, it was just like a party, wasn't it? It was
was
amazing.
incredible.
All it was missing was the DJ.
Anyway,
Could have got my son there.
we had, I think, 6 bidders bidding
Yes.
for that, and set a fabulous new price for the
It
street.
was sold for $1,800,000, Phil. That was
Unbelievable.
massively over reserve,
Yeah.
massively over expectation. And congratulations to the buyer and the seller, who's already written us a letter saying how happy
Yep.
they are with Elsa and with our agency. So it's lovely to
I
hear
think
that.
I think this episode next week we really do need to talk about the new laws
Yes.
on quoting and
Yes.
underquoting.
Yeah. So
and
there's some understanding, Philip.
I think we should consult our solicitors. Might even think about having a solicitor in next
Maybe we
week to
could.
have on show.
Maybe we can get the solicitor from the REIV, Peter Lowenstern. Maybe he can come have a chat with us.
Or maybe we could have Enzo Raimondo.
Maybe he's been on before. He loves it.
He
Loves
he loves the
GPTV.
show. Loves the show.
He
Big
told me.
Big supporter
He's
of the
told me
show.
he watches it in his family. They invite people around and they say, let's just get into this week's GPTV. Philip, the biggest sale of the weekend, which is undisclosed, was the double block in Burindi Road. It did sell, kills us to keep the price confidential, but we must respect the wishes of the vendor. But it is a record price, and as we've got to a record-breaking 200 episodes, because no one's ever done that with a stupid real estate show like this, that is also a record price, Philip, sold for well in excess of expectation. Congratulations to the vendor and the buyer.
And a shout out to the vendors, lovely people.
Oh, delightful. They were a pleasure to work for.
When they employed us, they gave us every opportunity to do what we wanted.
Exactly
they took
right.
advice.
They did.
And that's an interesting thing.
And they got the
I'm not
reward.
being smart by saying this, but,
No.
but often the properties that don't perform are the ones where a vendor has
to drive
listened
the
to
bus.
what we've said and then said, no, we're not going to do it that way, we're going to do it this way. And obviously we are but your humble servant and
Exactly right.
must follow your direction. But when you take our advice, good things happen.
And that did for that vendor. And interesting where the buyers were from too, Philip, by the way.
I hope
Because it was
that
in
wasn't
Caulfield.
too arrogant, Gary, that thing that I've just said then. You know?
Some
But
people probably think it was.
Well, you know.
Yeah. But you know what, you're right. I mean, we get employed as professionals, and the way we see it is we're the professionals. We'd like to give you our advice because we know what works, but you're the boss as the vendors,
Correct.
and we'll
Correct.
take your
And
instructions.
we will respect your instructions
Exactly
at all
right.
times.
Philip, it was a very exciting outcome. But what I wanted to say is how interesting the buyers. You know, we had a buyer interested from Hughesdale, someone from Canterbury, somebody from Brighton, somebody, a couple of locals.
Someone from
Caulfield.
Sydney,
Someone
Gary.
from Sydney was interested,
Yeah.
Philip. Someone from Carnegie was interested. There were people, yes, a very interesting person from Sydney, very prominent person from Sydney, quite an identity, but we're not going to say any more about that.
It kills us too.
I
not
know.
to splash it all over
I know it
GPTV.
does. But what an exciting result and what an exciting outcome. So well done and congratulations. And that is a record in Caulfield South, the highest priced property ever sold and the best property ever sold in Caulfield
It was
South.
always going to set a record, that
So
house.
that was a thrill. So I don't know what else we was to talk about except the house that we're in, Phil, because it would be remiss of us not to mention some of the more salient features about the home
I
that
hate
we're
that.
situated. I know
Please
that.
promise me you don't,
don't.
say,
I
ladies
don't.
and gentlemen,
It would be remiss of me not to
go
mention
through the salient features of the
home.
property.
That is old
And
real
for
estate.
those
When we learned
auctioneers out there that are still using salient or remiss in a sentence,
I love it.
Retire.
Well, because that's how we were.
Anyway,
remember our early training
It would be
30 years ago.
It would be remiss of us
that's
not to mention the salient features of number 8 Orong Road in Elstonwick.
Cop
One
this
of-
home, Phil. This
one-
is magnificent.
Cop this home.
Cop this beauty, eh? That's modern talk now.
No, that's just Aussie bad
Okay,
talk.
fair enough.
This is the most fabulous house, Gary. First of all, it sits prominently in Orong Road.
It does.
Right down the Paris end of Orong
Road.
Road.
You're getting lost. I don't reckon there's going to be a 300. This is it. 200's the
No,
most.
of course we're going to go. But this is the most magnificent property. It's part of the Elstonwick vibe. You can walk to Glen Huntly Road from here.
You can.
The most amazing parcel of land in excess of 1,100 square metres of prime
Massive.
Elstonwick land. The most beautiful main bedroom, walk-in dressing room, ensuite bathroom. The other children's bedrooms are incredible attic style, all huge. It's been renovated from the front door right to the back fence. An incredible home. I love it.
I think it's the best offering in Elstonwick this year, Philip, and maybe for quite some time. This is an extraordinary home. We look forward to welcoming you here. The details are on the screen. And the team of Darren Cromgold, Sally Zellman and co are handling this one, so give them a call because they would love to meet you here and show you through something extraordinary and exceptional. And you're extraordinary and exceptional, Philip, as we wind out 200 shows
You know,
of
you
GPTV.
finally said something intelligent
there
on
you
this
go.
show. You finally acknowledged the real...
It's been fun, hasn't it?
The power behind the show.
We've had
The
some
power
fun.
behind the business is really me.
We've had some fun. I didn't quite say that.
Well,
but
that's exactly what your intent was with that statement.
Really was nothing like that.
Gary,
Philip.
200 shows.
Yeah.
We've had some fun.
We have had
like
some
to
fun.
think that we've educated our
Yeah.
viewers. We like to think that they've educated us because we've had some incredible
You've been
feedback.
you've been, very informative, interesting, but you've also been a bit cruel about my hair and my eyebrows and things like that, Philip. But, it's good to give me some sense of my own personal grooming and my own personal fashion sense, Philip.
I've given you all of that advice and you've never taken
No, I
any
haven't.
of it.
Doesn't mean I don't appreciate being given it. But that is a big wrap, Philip, on GPTV, episode number 200. And I'm not sure.
Jerry Seinfeld, eat your heart out. Dick Van Dyke, you couldn't make 200. Here's Lucy, Flintstones.
Yes.
You're all quite pathetic because
Yes,
getting
right.
to 200, we've done it.
It was easy.
Haven't missed our stride, Gary.
Exactly right. The numbers have grown. May they continue to grow, and may you continue to enjoy your weekly real estate wrap and a bit of madness from GPTV.
And as Norman Gunston used to say in his sign-off, may the good Lord smile and shine upon you and not
May
let you pass away until
we
next
meet. Until we next
time we
meet.
meet.
That's right. All the best. I'm Gary Pierre.
I'm Philip Kingston. Have a great
Bye.
week.